Have you ever bitten into a juicy steak and instantly felt guilty? For decades, we've been told that red meat is a silent killer, clogging your arteries, wrecking your heart, shortening your life. But what if that story isn't the full truth? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most controversial debates in modern nutrition. What you're about to hear may surprise you, because the connection between red meat and heart disease isn't as clear-cut as they want you to believe. This isn't just about what's on your plate, it's about who controls the narrative. Food industries, lobbyists, outdated science, misleading headlines. We've been fed myths for years. Now, it's time to serve up the truth. This is the top 7 red meat myths that are damaging your health decisions, and what science actually says about your heart. Myth number 1. Red meat directly causes heart disease. Truth. Correlation isn't causation. Many early studies linked red meat to heart disease. But here's the catch. They were observational, meaning they noticed patterns, but they didn't prove cause and effect. Dr. Zoe Harcum, PhD, explains, people who eat red meat often have other habits. They smoke more, exercise less, and eat more processed foods. It's not the meat, it's the lifestyle. Recent meta-analyses, like one published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, found no significant evidence linking unprocessed red meat to heart risk. Let that sink in. Myth number 2. Saturated fat in red meat is a heart killer. For years, saturated fat was public enemy number 1. But the science? It's evolving. In 2015, a review in the British Medical Journal found no clear link between saturated fat and heart disease. And Harvard's Dr. Ronald Krauss adds, it's more about what you're replacing it with. Swap meat for sugary carbs or processed snacks. You're worse off, but replace it with whole, unprocessed plant foods. That's where the benefit comes in. Balance, not fear. Myth number 3. All red meat is the same. There's a huge difference between a grass-fed steak and a fast food burger. Processed red meats, like hot dogs and deli slices, do show increased risk for heart disease. But unprocessed red meat? Much less concern. A study from the Harvard School of Public Health confirmed this distinction. It's not red meat that's the problem. It's what's done to it. Myth number 4. Cholesterol from red meat builds up in arteries. Here's where things get tricky. Yes, red meat contains cholesterol, but dietary cholesterol doesn't affect blood cholesterol levels as much as we once thought. In fact, your liver adjusts its production based on what you eat. Eat more cholesterol, your liver makes less. Even the 2015 to 2020 dietary guidelines for Americans dropped the strict limit on cholesterol intake, stating it's not a nutrient of concern for overconsumption. Myth number 5. Plant-based is the only heart-healthy option. Plant-based diets can absolutely be healthy, but that doesn't mean meat is the enemy. Some of the longest-living populations, like those in Argentina and certain Mediterranean regions, eat moderate amounts of red meat, combined with fresh produce, olive oil, and whole grains. It's not about extremes, it's about quality, variety, and whole foods. Myth number 6. Red meat increases inflammation. Inflammation is a major driver of heart disease, no question. But blaming red meat across the board? Too simplistic. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that lean, unprocessed red meat did not raise inflammation markers. In fact, when included in a balanced diet, it may even lower C-reactive protein, a major inflammation marker. Real food, real impact. Myth number 7. Eating red meat shortens your lifespan. Let's talk long life. One famous study that shocked the world. It claimed red meat eaters lived shorter lives. But here's the twist. Those same eaters also smoked more, exercised less, drank more alcohol, and consumed fewer fruits and vegetables. You can't isolate one food and blame it for everything. Life and nutrition is more complex than that. Always consult a qualified doctor or nutritionist before making significant changes to your diet. What works for one person may not work for another, but let's take this deeper. What if the real threat to your heart isn't red meat, but ultra-processed foods? Foods loaded with artificial additives, hidden sugars, trans fats, refined oils. These ingredients are far more insidious and far more common in the average diet than a home-cooked steak. A 2020 study published in Cell Metabolism found that participants who consumed highly processed foods gained weight and developed metabolic issues faster than those on a whole foods diet, even when calories were equal. Think about that. It wasn't the meat, it was the modern industrial diet. So while we argue about red meat, the real danger is hiding in plain sight. Packaged in colorful boxes, disguised with clever marketing, and loaded with substances your body was never meant to digest. Meanwhile, traditional diets, rich in real whole ingredients, often included red meat as a staple, not a sin. We need to shift our focus from fear to facts and from restriction to education. Don't just accept what the headlines scream. Investigate. Question. Empower yourself. Subscribe now, because your health deserves the truth, not just trends. And remember, food isn't your enemy. Ignorance is.